Hi guys, we are into the last topic, the second lesson. Uh, Back to the basics. See, we have studied about the script called Brahmis script and Karosti script. So we have studied these two scripts, which are very useful to study the languages or like Pali and Prakrit. Brahmi is a script used for Pali language, and Kharosti is a language is a script used for Prakrit language. We studied this in the beginning of the lesson. Now, how we were able to decipher and understand these scripts for the first time. So that is the basics that we are getting into. Back to the basics, meaning how are we going to understand or decipher the inscriptions written in Brahmi and Kharosti scripts. Okay, deciphering Brahmi scripts. Most scripts used to write modern Indian languages are derived from Brahmi. Today, all the modern languages like Bengali, Hindi, and no Tamil and other Telugu and other languages which we have today, modern Indian languages are mainly derived from this script called Brahmi script. This is very widely used in Ashokan inscriptions, very important. And from the late 18th century, European scholars aided means helped by the Indian Pandits of that time. They both collaboratively worked together to understand this. Okay, so European scholars aided by Indian Pandits worked backwards. पीछे जाके जो olden times जो inscriptions है उनको पढ़ने के लिए from the contemporary Bengali and Devanagari. This is a script used to write Hindi. So today contemporary scripts are Bengali and Devanagari scripts. Actually, Hindi is taken from Devanagari script. So with the help of Bengali and Devanagari, in a way Hindi, we went backwards to study the inscriptions written in Brahmi, comparing the letters with the older specimens. So we had some older specimens. See, it is like a cross. This cross is a Brahmi script, and that cross is equally understandable with modern day language Hindi, that is K. It looks like English D, and that is ch, and C it looks like C English, and that is the and all da and all that. Okay, so we were able to understand the Brahmi script with the help of Bengali and Devanagari script. Very good, understood. Scholars who studied early inscriptions sometimes assumed these were in Sanskrit. Some scholars who studied in the beginning, उनको ऐसा लगा कि ये Sanskrit language हो सकता है, although the earliest inscriptions were in fact in Prakrit. But Sanskrit was not used, but it was Prakrit. It was only after the decades of painstaking investigations by the several epigraphists that James Prinsep was able to decipher Ashokan Brahmi in 1838. That's a year when he was able to decipher this Brahmi script. Otherwise, we were understanding this can be Sanskrit and all that, but it was not so. So this is how we understood Brahmi script. Then how Kharosti was read? How was Kharosti read? How we were able to understand that? The story of decipherment of Kharosti, the script used in inscriptions in the northwest, is different from Brahmi script. Brahmi script को हम understand करने के लिए हम Indian languages को use किए, Indian पंडित्स के help से हमने वो सब study किया. Whereas to understand Kharosti script, which is used in mostly in northwestern part of India and subcontinent, mainly Afghanistan and Iran areas, how we were the story is different. What is the different story? That is the finds of the coins of Indo-Greek kings का जो coins हमको मिला, उसमें दो languages use उनके coins में two scripts were used. One is Greek, the other one is Kharosti. Okay, the coins of Indo-Greek rulers had two scripts. One is Greek, the other one is Kharosthi scripts. Now, this helped us, okay, this helped us. How? European scholars who could read the former, that is Greek, European rulers jo India mein the, like prince of like people, they were able to understand this Greek, okay, unko Greek aata tha, former means Greek. So they were able to compare Greek, and like we compared with the Hindi and Brahmi script the same way, to understand Kharosthi, we compared Greek and Greek with the Kharosthi. So this is like just the opposite way. So we can very proudly claim that we were Brahmi script was understood with the help of Indian languages, and Kharosthi script was understood with the help of the Greek European language. Okay, so this is how it was understood. Okay, how we were able to, for example, like we had a table to understand Brahmi the same way. The example, the symbol of for a letter के लिए could be found in both the scripts for writing the names like Apollodotus. This is the name of the ruler. Apollodotus को जब वो any inscription you see, it will be written in Greek as well as in Kharosthi. Same ditto वापस. आपने देखा होगा कि guidelines जो भी lockdown का जो भी guidelines आते हैं हिंदी में भी आते हैं इंग्लिश में भी आते हैं. Maybe after 100-200 years back in a new language, अगर कोई नया language emerge हो गया, so if they want to study this Hindi and English, so they will compare these both the same way. They have compared Greek with Kharosthi. So a letter के लिए alphabet के लिए Apollodotus का ये जैसे Greek में लिखते हैं, they just compared Kharosthi में कैसे. So they slowly one by one they were able to understand. So with the principle identifying the language called Prakrit. Prince was the person who identified this as a Prakrit language, जिसका script था Kharosthi. It became possible to read longer inscription as well. So that's about how Kharosthi was to be understood by the people. Fine. So this historical evidence from the inscriptions, I skipped this topic and I don't think there can be a question from this. But one important fact that we need to underline from this passage is no the very often the name called Devanambiya. Okay, this is used for Ashoka. Like we had Piyadasi means pleasant to behold. The same way there is a name in all the inscriptions used Devanambiya. It is often translated as beloved of the gods, and this is also inscribed for अशोका के लिए ये भी लिखा जाता था. So there इसमें है thus speaks the king Devanambiya Piyadasi. That means the beloved of the gods and the pleasant to behold a person. Ashoka writes this. So that is about this. They may ask what is the meaning of Devanambiya, or to whom this title indicates to. That is King Ashoka. So nothing more important in this. You can skip this topic. The second most short answer from this lesson, and this question will for sure will appear in your most of the exams, especially board exam. I suppose the limitations of inscriptional evidence. ये year before last year exam में आया था. Last year में भी 3 sets में से एक set में कहीं ना कहीं question था. So this question, without this question, there cannot be a paper made in history. That is what I assume. And this is an important question. Questions can be asked in different way. One way of asking is this. What is this? There are limits to what epigraphy can reveal. Explain, comment. Can be a question. Yeah, what are the limitations of epigraphy, or what are the limitations of inscriptional evidence? Any type of, the wordings may be different, but the answer is same. The answer is this. There are some technical limitations. First we will see the technical limitations, then we will see the fundamental limitations. Okay, there are 2 types of limitations, technical and fundamental. Okay. Now, technical problems or limitations. What is the first one? Letters are very faintly engraved. Faintly means not so clearly. Very, very faintly engraved. Thus, reconstructions are uncertain. So, क्या लिखा है वहाँ पे? सही से हम पढ़ नहीं पाते हैं, दैट्स द फर्स्ट वन. एंड इंस्क्रिप्शंस मे बी डैमेज्ड और लेटर्स मिसिंग, ये सेकंड प्रॉब्लम है. वेरी मतलब बहुत साल बाद हमको मिलता है तो डैमेज हो जाता है या मिसिंग, कुछ लेटर्स मिसिंग होते हैं. सो बिसाइड्स इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज इजी टू बी श्योर about the exact meaning of the words used in the inscription, some of which may be specific to a particular place or time. तो इसलिए हमें प्रॉब्लम आता है. These are the two problems first to note. Okay, two problems to be noted, very very important. Since the letters are faintly engraved, very difficult to reconstruct, and second is it's damaged, the letters missing, so we cannot get the exact meaning of the words inscribed. Now, the another problem is, although several thousand inscriptions have been discovered, not all have been deciphered, published, translated. सबका सब inscriptions का हमारे पास कोई meaning नहीं है, हमने translate नहीं किया. There are thousands of inscriptions which no may not have the translation or the decipherment. Okay, so many more besides many more inscription must have existed, और भी होंगे which have not survived the ravage. और भी बहुत सारे inscription हमारे पास हो सकता था, but it will not have it, which have not survived the ravages of time. Ravage means hard times of time. Hard times जो आते हैं ना, so what is available at present is probably only a fraction of what was inscribed. So this is the third problem, टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम. मतलब सर इतना बड़ा पैसेज आप कैसे लिखेंगे? व्हाट यू हैव टू राइट इज whatever inscriptions we have and that exists with us is just a fraction of what was inscribed. Must have which may not have survived this bad time or ravages of time. इतना आपको लिखना है. Okay, now this is the third point. Fourth point is, see, this is a 3 marker, so 3 points are enough. Sometimes may not be enough, you need to explain the exact problems, so you have to go further to write. Okay, perhaps more fundamental problem is this: not everything that we may consider politically, economically significant was necessarily recorded. ऐसा नहीं है कि जो भी हमें politically, economically, socially जो problems हम उस समय जो exist होता था, not that all the problems are inscribed. ऐसा नहीं कि वो सब ये इंस्क्रिप्शन में रिकॉर्डेड होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द रूटीन एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ द पीपल, द जॉयज एंड सॉरोस ऑफ द डेली एक्सिस्टेंस ऑफ द पीपल फाइंड नो मेंशन इन द इंस्क्रिप्शंस. इंस्क्रिप्शंस में ये सब चीजें नहीं है. लोगों का डेली रूटीन क्या है, एग्रीकल्चर में क्या क्या प्रोड्यूस करते थे, उनके प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है, वेदर व्हाट आर द जॉयज एंड हैप्पीनेस और द सॉरोज ऑफ द पीपल एक्सिस्टिंग. सो नथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट existed in the inscription. So this is a very important point. This is an important limitation. What is inscribed always is, what is inscribed, which focus this, all the inscriptions focus on grand and unique events, some of the grand and unique events. The content of the inscriptions mostly almost invariably projects the perspective of the person who commissioned them. मतलब जो रूलर ये इंस्क्रिप्शन को स्टार्ट किया है, कमीशन मीन स्टार्ट किया है, उसी के बारे में, उसी के पर्सपेक्टिव को वहां पे बताते हैं. बाकी कोई लोगों के बारे में, उस समय का जो प्रॉब्लम्स है, वो सब कुछ नहीं है. सो दिस इज अनदर वेरी फंडामेंटल लिमिटेशन. As such, so what we have to, they need to be juxtaposed with other perspectives so as to arrive a better understanding. So juxtaposed means प्लेस नियर बाई, बगल में रख के हमको अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा कि इधर जैसा लिखा है शायद लोग ऐसा प्रॉब्लम्स फेस किए होंगे, ऐसा मतलब सॉरोस उनका होगा, ऐसा जॉयस होंगे, लोग ऐसे प्रैक्टिस किए होंगे. सो वी नीड टू juxtapose other perspective to understand a better understanding of the past, to arrive at the better understanding of the past, which is very difficult for the historians to know. What is not written, how can we assume? We cannot just assume the history. We need to know, we need to have the record for the history. So very important and short question for your board exam. You will appreciate when it comes to, when it appears in your board paper, that once it has been told that this question is an important question. So this is an important question. That is ऐसा ही sample paper में या previous question paper में मैंने पढ़ा था कि यही statement था, there are limits to what epigraphy can reveal. ये statement है. Explain, 3 marker. It will not come in long answer, it will come in only 3 marker because short answer is this. So let me quickly put all the points together. What are the things you need to write? First, letters are very finely engraved, so very difficult to reconstruct them. And the inscription jo bhi abhi existing hai very damaged and letters missing, so we cannot have the exact meaning of this. That is second point. Third point, whatever we have, it's just a fraction of what was inscribed, because it has not survived the ravages of the time. That's the third point. Fourth fundamental problem is what we have, what is existing is not everything of the problems of politically, economically, and social problem recorded in the inscription. Only just it has not recorded the joy, sorrows, and agriculture routine works of the people not mentioned. What is mentioned is just not just a grand and unique events, and the person who commissioned उसके perspective से ही उसके perspective ही वहाँ पे inscribed है, not the common people's perspectives are not inscribed in the inscriptions. As a result, what we have to do is to understand, to arrive at a better understanding, we need to juxtapose all the perspectives together, which is not an easy task for any scholar. So that is the conclusion of this topic. So fine, we have finally come to the conclusion of the second lesson too. I think I was able to make you understand some of the hardcore concepts. Otherwise, this is an easy lesson. See, all the lessons are easy if you are able to read every line and understand the perspective. That is the biggest problem. We students no don't want to read. Somebody can just mark and give some important questions, so we can just learn by heart and go for the exam, which is not that is not a good idea. Okay, fine. Before I wind up the lesson, let me tell you three important long answers and three important short answers from this lesson. The first important long answer is this. The 6th century BC is often regarded as the major turning point in the early Indian history. Explain, elaborate, or comment. This is a long answer. This includes even Magadha, the most important पावरफुल 16 महाजनाबदास का वो वाला ये पॉइंट भी वो इंक्लूड करता है. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट इज क्वेश्चन इज दिस अबाउट द मौर्यन एम्पायर्स का एक लॉन्ग आंसर आ सकता है. सो that is another important long answer. The third one is how did the towns and the trade emerge? That's the third important long answer. So three long answers. Now coming back to the short answers, the first most very important short answer is this: why is Magadha considered to be the most powerful 16 Mahajanapadas? Second is the limitations of inscriptional evidence या epigraphy जो reveal कर सकता है उसमें क्या क्या limits हैं. That is the second one. Just now we discussed about that. The third one is speaking about the administration. Okay, the administration of Mauryan empires. Very important short answer है वो. Okay, so administration of the Mauryan empires, admiring them, administering the empire. Then that no that we saw this on social differences we saw somewhere. Yes, divine kings also important. उससे पहले हमने एक टॉपिक देखा था इन कंट्री साइड में हमने देखा था social differences. That is also an important short answer. Okay, fine. So this is just some important questions which people who are struggling to learn. For those who are aiming for high percentage and good score and all, must study the whole lesson. There is no anything that can be skipped other than what I say. Fine. So I call it this as an end for this second chapter. Till I see you in the next session with the next with the new lesson, new theme. Till then, all of you, please take care, stay home and stay safe, and take care and be safe. Okay, bye bye.